a prevalent social understanding of their wrongdoing as opposed to them as wrongdoers, and an overall understanding that they can be doers of right, and an understanding that maybe individuals within this framework that are willing to help them.
Maybe I lack life experiences, but I have life experiences that have shown me that people who have been caught red-handed stealing something plead their innocence or deny guilt in stealing something. That's no. When I say that, right, even though we know that they did something wrong and we have all the evidence and proof to back it up,
right,
they deny being guilty of that crime.
Right.
Why? They're not crazy, they're not mad, they're not psychotic.
True.
But they deny it, and they deny it to themselves. They actually probably lie to themselves. I don't know whether or not it is that they twist their reality to suit what they want out of life, but I've seen it with my eyes. People take something, you see them take it, and then they're holding it in their hand, and they say, I didn't take this, and then they rest it down and they say, what are you blaming me for? That never happened to you?
Yeah.
That is the smaller, the abridged version of a criminal. Criminals go to jail knowing that they killed somebody, and they're still saying, but I didn't do nothing, and I have nothing. People have tried throughout history to get them to say, you killed the man, accept it, and they will not do it. How do you break the psyche of somebody?
Is that within the existing destructive framework, or within a framework that allows them to build their own understanding of right and wrong?
Brother man, there's always the understanding of right and wrong. There's always been that. People have countlessly tried to make people understand right and wrong. Prison was never always just a hellhole. People tried to make to reform prisoners. You're not the first person to try.
To what extent?
To massive extent.
Give me an example.
I can't give you an example. Not right now. I will look it up for you.
Are we saying that none of those extents succeeded?
Okay.
No.
Are we saying that there has never been a prison reform system that has succeeded?
No. The system has not succeeded by definition of 100%. Probably it succeeded in 15%, 20%. If that's what you're hoping for.
So you don't think that there's any major success in terms of this?
I'll help that one.
Yeah, he needs. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, camera.
Anyway, I apologize.
Take a snapshot of me, so.
No. Even if you camera time now.
Continue.
Okay, we're talking about people post-crime. Meaning after they already commit a crime, right? And then we talk about motives and whatnot that will guide them to commit the crime and whatnot, right? Now, let us assume that our government put programs in place for that individual to access help and resources that will enable him to get the things he desires. I'm not sure if he desires. Let me suppose that desire being a genuine desire. I just want to live and be happy. I want to live at peace. I want to be protected and live safely. I want to have water, clothing, food and shelter. Right? Let us assume that our government has the programs relevant in place to that. And yet an individual rejects these things, rejects all the preventative, because these are preventative measures in a way that, providing the proper environment for people to function in a first place, on a first time basis. Provides all of that, and then the individual still commits the crime. What could you do to an individual who's ignored access to help? They say that they want a job, but they're unwilling to get an education. And honestly, there are people who have the opportunities and who really and truly, I would say, have no excuse. I would say support. They have support from teachers. They have financial support. They're getting free textbooks, and there are programs steadily being put in place to help those individuals get what it is they claim they need. My point is, some people fall in love with a particular lifestyle, a particular philosophy, and become corrupted at the core, and remain corrupted at the core because of a personal choice and a personal hardening by their own part. Those people, what do we do with them? I'm not saying sometimes they cross the line and they commit a crime, kill them. What I'm saying is that, okay, you punish them accordingly, but let them know that there's an ultimatum. That you continue, you go in jail, you come back out, you get, we protect you, we have probation, we make sure when they get shot, we put you in a hospital. We come with a police officer by your bedside and protect you in the hospital, just to give you a fair trial in jail. We try these things. You ignore these things, you're going back again. Aren't you addicted to a lifestyle? Aren't you on a path that you, of your own accord, have said that I forfeit the will to live in this system? Well, it's either we export them somewhere else other than Earth, or we keep them in the system in which they will continue to do the wickedness that they have proven to be doing, and then or we allow them to be judged by their own standard, which is, they live by the sword, die by the sword. And it's not a first time thing. What I'm saying is that at some point though, we need capital punishment is a logical option. I'm not saying be trigger happy and just put prisoners in prison, do have proper systems in place, and then if they come back out and they commit crime again, second time, third time offenders, kill them. No, I say have these proper things, have these systems in place, but understand the reality that some people don't change, and have a program in place for those people, which would be the death penalty. That is what I see.
So that's the only option? Even in those cases, right?
Or you could start off by saying, so that's the only option. You hear what you say? No, if it is yours,
you try to say it like that. No, but I like the accent. I like the accent. I like the accent.
No, let them make a point now.
Right. Okay. I just have to highlight one thing about what I've heard about the debate so far since I've gotten here, is that even when all you're trying to rectify the problem of how you're addressing the issue, both of you are addressing the issue as monoliths. That is, you only want psychological evaluation and you only want them to dead, which is not necessary. No, that's the thing. I understand that neither of you, this is not what any human being wants. No, Devon,
Yes, Devon.
This is not what any human wants. I know this is not what Devon is, what JC is advocating, and I know that's not what Brendan is advocating. But we need to highlight that we can't say that we want only one thing, or we want the prison system to lean majorly to one side, but there has to be an equilibrium. We understand that there are people who cannot be saved. In every way and form, there are people who cannot be resurrected from the prison system. They will go back out, and even if they actually do not commit a crime, they still have a mentality that is detrimental to the society that they will be returning to. And we understand that before we just jump the gun and start shooting men, line them up in the shooting range and start hanging people, we need to evaluate the potential that they have for society when they return. But we cannot presume that any one of these two options is more powerful than the other, because if we just go around evaluating people and leaving them in jail, then what we have is all kinds of mad people who are simply waiting to return into society. And if we just kill people, then we have to deal with the issue, which is my major reason why I'm against the death penalty. That is, we presume that everyone who lands into jail deserves being in jail, when really the numbers of innocent people who arrive in jail is actually pretty high worldwide, maybe somewhere around 35 to 40%. And the fact that an innocent person could be on death row for something that they did not commit is, regardless of how large that number is still a staggering number, and no innocent person should have the fate of their life decided on by a justice system that by its own admission is blind. So what do we do next?
Go. Okay, come out. One thing we can do is remove altogether capital punishment or the death penalty, because we identify the problem not as the death penalty but as the processes that will accuse innocent people of certain crimes, and we need to address those things for what they are specifically. That we have better lawyers arguing for people. People don't have to pay $10,000 to get a lawyer of class who will argue on their part, and that whole commercialization of law and justice in the first place.
Is that even possible?
Yeah, that's another thing on this side, right? But
That's another thing
the point is, what the issue that you're addressing